Hello and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Omotayo Alo. President Muhammad Buhari has appointed Emmanuel Ibe Kachiku as the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Kachiku, who is the Executive Vice Chairman and General Counsel of ExxonMobil, is to take over from Joseph Doha. The President's statement described the new NNPC emsman as a first-class graduate of law from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, at the Nigerian Law School. He also has master's and doctorate degrees in law from the Harvard Law School and began his working career with the Nigerian-American Merchant Bank before moving on to Texaco Nigeria Limited and later ExxonMobil. President Buhari has also approved the appointment of Umaru Dambata as the new Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of the Nigerian Communications Commission. Dambata, who holds a doctorate degree in electronic engineering, takes over from Dr. Jane Jua, whose tenure expired in July 29, 2015. Newly appointed Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Ibe Kachiku, has reported for duty within hours of his appointment. He assumed duty at a brief handover ceremony at the NNPC Towers, Abuja. A statement issued by the NNPC core team has expressed gratitude to his predecessor Joseph Doha for his hard work at the corporation. He also pledged to work hard to achieve the President's growth aspiration for the oil and gas industry. President Muhammad Buhari has ordered the Solid Mineral Development to put a stop to the activities of illegal miners in the country. He handed down the directive at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, after receiving briefings from the ministry's permanent secretary. The permanent secretary told State House correspondent that the president is keen on using the ministry to reduce unemployment in the country.
Well, it's very difficult for me to give you all the details because our presentation is quite large because of the sector we are operating under: mineral and steel development in Nigeria. We have almost touched on every issue, especially where the sector can be reactivated to provide a major source of employment, major source of capital inflow by the foreign investors, and proper management of the mining activities, especially the illegal miners that are coming in to mine and use crude processes in processing what they are mined, especially gold and lead zinc, which inevitably lead to poisoning of our local population. Unfortunately, quite a number of people died, especially in Zamfara and recently in Niger. We look at how best the steel sector will be revitalized, especially the steel sector and the issues around the reactivation of the Ajaokuta steel and the Nigerian mine or company.
President Muhammad Buhari wants the Ministry of Environment to revert a 1920 report in order to revive the Lake Chad Basin. He issued the directive after receiving briefings on the activities of the ministry from the Permanent Secretary Fatima Mede at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Mede told State House correspondent that the President is concerned about the present condition of the lake as well as the indiscriminate felling of trees in some parts of the country.
Mr. President is also concerned about the fact that Lake Chad is streaking, has struck from the 23,000 square kilometers about 2 decades ago to just 300 square kilometers, which has affected the farmers, the fishermen, and the livelihoods of the people around that area. So he has directed that we should go and look. There was a report that was submitted 90-20 about how to prevent Lake Chad from drying up, so that the communities around, even borders communities, including the countries, Cameroon and all of that, benefiting from the activities of fishermen and livelihoods, based on that Lake Chad, are not affected. So he has asked that we should bring up that report immediately. We should see how we can promote the use of LPG gas to reduce the rate at which trees are being cut down.
President of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, is seeking the approval of the Senate for a $75 million loan from the World Bank for Edo State. This was contained in a letter from the President read by Senate President Bukola Saraki on the floor of the Senate on Tuesday. According to the letter, the credit facility is the second part of the $225 million development policy program.
Writing to seek the consideration of the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and approval of a request by the Edo State Government to obtain a $75 million credit facility from the World Bank. Your Excellency, you may wish to know that the World Bank had approved a development policy program, DPO loan, budget support for the total sum of $225 million to Edo State Government in 2012, to be implemented in 3 tranches of $75 million per annum. The first tranche was approved by the National Assembly in the 2012-2014 Federal Government External Rolling Borrowing Plan. The DPO has since been successfully implemented by the state in 2014.
The Senate has confirmed the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonishakin, and all the service chiefs recently appointed by President Muhammad Buhari. This was after a 3-hour closed-door screening of the military chiefs in the Senate chamber. The House of Representatives, for its part, gave the job to another committee, which also sat for hours, but still has to submit a report on the outcome of the screening to the lawmakers. Basin reports.
The screening of the service chiefs was clearly the main activity of the day when Senate resumed plenary on Tuesday. Soon after he opened proceedings for the day, the Senate President called for a closed session. The service chiefs, led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonishakin, were to be screened behind closed doors. 3 hours later, the doors were flung open. The confirmation hearing is complete, and the military leaders were unanimously confirmed. In a short address, Saraki congratulated the officers and urged them to redirect the cause of the armed forces for positive results in the fight against insurgency and insecurity.
I congratulate them, and I hope that they would give their best to Nigerians who are expecting a lot from our armed forces and bring a new life and the end of the insurgents in the Northeast, and so that, again, the people in the area can go back to live their normal life.
Senate spokesman Dino Melaye gave an insight into what happened during the confirmation hearing.
They requested for support and partnership from the National Assembly, specifically in terms of funding, so that the insurgency will be fought from all fronts. And another aspect to it is that they have told us that they are introducing cyber technology to the fight against Boko Haram.
The Senate also gave assurances on its readiness to perform its oversight role on the military with all seriousness before adjourning to Wednesday, August 5. Basin, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Deputy Senate President Ike Ekwuemadu is seeking greater diplomatic and economic ties between Nigeria and the Republic of Korea. He made the call when he received the ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Nigeria, No Yodok, in his office in Abuja. The deputy president of the Senate commended Korea for its support towards the socio-economic development of Nigeria, especially in the areas of education, information and communications technology, agriculture, and manpower development through the Korea International Development Agency. He called for more Korean investment in Nigeria and assured his visitors that the lingering concerns of their business interests, such as double taxation and pending issues in the oil and gas sector, Earlier in his remarks, the ambassador Nokodak reaffirmed the need for greater economic and parliamentary cooperation between Nigeria and South Korea. He also pledged the continued support of the people and government of South Korea towards Nigeria's development. The National Orientation Agency has hailed humanitarian organizations operating in the country for their show of support for Nigerians in distress. The Director General of NOAA, Mike Omiri, expressed this appreciation when he received an audience in the Rotary International District Governor Mike Omotosho in Abuja. The agency's spokesman, Paul Odeniyi, quotes Omiri in a statement as saying that the intervention of humanitarian groups like Rotary has helped to complement Nigeria's national emergency response architecture. The NORDG commended Rotary for its engagement in humanitarian activities of building schools, assisting government in poverty eradication, and sinking boreholes for disadvantaged Nigerians. He added that the core objective of the NOR was reflected in Rotary international activities, which are essentially to promote the humanity of people in the world. Join us after this break for more.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to your husband that you should keep promise about what you said. And because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. If you just joining us, it's CoreTV News on the Hour. For more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You could follow us and also tweet at us at our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. Get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and news. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has assured Nigerians that the challenges confronting the Nigerian Air Force are surmountable. He explained during a visit to Kaduna that the Air Force was re-strategizing for the taxi fight and insurgency in the northeast region of the country. The Air Chief is convinced that the Buhari administration will help restore the pride of the Air Force.
To peace and security in Kaduna. They have been part of the security organization, the multi-agency cooperative organization that we have. They are contributors to Operation Yaki, and they have been part and parcel of all the security operations, as well as a big contributor in our weekly Security Council meetings. The leadership of the Nigeria Air Force here in Kaduna has been very, very supportive to the state government. And the Aeromedical Center, for instance, is perhaps the best medical facility we have in Kaduna that our citizens use as a last resort whenever they need. If all our armed services are doing the kind of work that I have seen in the Nigeria Air Force Base here in Kaduna, the whole country will be the beneficiary and the better for it.
I think we have identified that we need to re-strategize, and we are mobilizing every resources at our disposal to ensure that the territory of Nigeria is protected and the Nigerian people are. You cannot have everything you require. No country has everything it requires. But what I can tell you is that we are putting together, our reports as to the state of our equipment, and I believe by the time we finish this tour, we'll have a clearer picture. But whatever is on ground, we are going to use it effectively and efficiently. My officers and men are doing very well. They are operating under very, very, very difficult, sometimes very difficult situation. But I can tell you that everybody is doing everything that is humanly possible to ensure that we are effective and we are able to discharge our constitutional responsibilities.
The Federal Capital Territory Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Zuba has affirmed the victory of Senator Philip Aduda and Zafania Desalu in the March 28 senatorial and House of Representatives election. In a separate judgment, the three-man panel led by Justice Elvis Ngene held that a petition filed by the candidates of the All Progressives Congress lacked merit. APC candidates Sidi Ali and Isa Barari in the senatorial and House of Representatives election challenged the victory at the tribunal, but Justice Ngene dismissed the petition on the grounds that the witnesses called by the petitioners failed to prove the allegation of ballot box stuffing and electoral irregularities. The incumbent lawmakers say they had no doubt they would get a favorable.
Giving us the mandate to represent them and to serve them, and that this is another affirmation of the fact that we won this election, and that by the grace of God Almighty we'll continue to do the best that we can, leaving the rest to God and working for the progress and unity of the Federal Capital Territory.
To God be the glory. This decision today from the tribunal, we dedicate it to God, dedicate it to my own constituency, Abuja Municipal and Bari Federal Constituency, who agreed to vote for me from the election. And today, court or tribunal have finally declared me again as the winner of this election. To me, I will do my best, as usual, to do those things that concern the people of Amak and Bari Federal Constituency.
Ahead of the November 21 Kogi State gubernatorial election, more than 8 aspirants, including a woman, have formally signified their intention to pick the ticket of the All Progressives Congress. The aspirants turned up at the party secretariat to collect nomination funds and use the opportunity to decry what they say is the clueless administration in the state. They are convinced that APC would from the next government in Kogi State.
That 2 months, I did miracle in Kogi State. Within that month, I touched all the sectors of our life. I established a college of education technical, which was a higher school, which till today is being credited to me as one of the most spectacular things I achieved. We want to stop putting round peg in square holes. When you ask a carpenter to climb the pole and join wire of electricity, if it's electrocuted, you should not complain. It's the person who sent him there.
From their family to other people. We want to put a stop to this. And I want to have a covenant with my people in Kogi State. If you come to my village, I have an uncompleted building. If you want it to remain like that, it will remain uncompleted throughout my tenure. I have a house that is leaking. I will re-roof it so that it will not leak when you come to visit me. But outside of that, I promise you that I'm going to run a government that you can all be proud of. That is why I've collected this form today.
The issue is that it's a collective effort that we should put our heads together and move Kogi State forward. So I have a lot of plans. Look at the state, no job, no salary. A lot of things we are lacking. I was a member of Confab delegates. I was lucky to be in the transport committee. Look at Ajaokuta. If you look at it, it's just 2% to make that Ajaokuta to be in a perfect way.
While on the visit to the Lagos home of the APC national leaders, speaking on behalf of U.S. President Barack Obama, members of the U.S. Congress have urged the APC-led government under President Muhammad Buhari to accommodate in his cabinet people with this kind of vision for zero tolerance for corruption, and also charging that the party should dwell on the change promised it offered Nigeria during the electioneering process. On the spot, Bola Tinubu appreciated their concern and support for his party and further affirmed the party is destined to change the security strength of the country in fighting the Boko Haram menace, which has lingered for too long.
So that's my concern is that. Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Your story and everything you said, I just took it in. I'm going to take it back to the United States, and this is my friend here who helped me get here. And I know I'm not even well. I shouldn't even be here, but this is something that I'm razor sharp on. I'm a school principal by trade. So little children what children need is hope, and that's what this country should be about. You have so many kids here, more than you have adults. So I think you should be preparing for them and what's going to happen.
We are determined. That is true. I've been to Saudi Arabia. We have a lot of con men pretending to be in contact with Boko Haram, extorting money. That's where Buhari is fair, nice. I don't want to crucify too much in the last administration. They won. They use the girls as pawn, political pawns. It backfired. They thought they were going to put a terrible face on Islam. Yes, fundamentalists, extremists, situation in the country. They didn't pay attention.
Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has charged his colleagues to toe the path of discipline in order to overcome the ongoing financial crunch in the states. Ortom, who made the call at the presidential village, said there was urgent need to block leakages in the state, adding that the system has enabled the state to pay off its backlog of salaries to workers. He told State House correspondent that he is reviewing the status of the internally generated revenue with a view to boosting it.
Today, I can say to the glory of the Almighty God, despite all the challenges that we have and the dwindling economy, we've been able to pay salaries for May, and not quarter salary, full salary for May across the board, and June and July. As I talk to you, most of the government, department, and agencies that their PVs were ready for July, they already received their alert, because we know that that is where to start, because the Bible says a worker deserves his wages. So the issue of payment of salaries is a priority to my administration.
And from outside Nigeria, a spokesman has confirmed the victory of pro-government forces in Yemen have in retaking the country's largest airbase in the battle with Houthi rebels. Heavy casualties have been reported at Al Anad airbase north of Aden after intense fighting there in recent days. It comes after pro-government forces backed by airstrikes from Saudi-led coalition retook Aden in July. The Saudis are leading a campaign to push their rebels back and restore the government, which is sheltering troops and armored vehicles from the United Arab Emirates. A key member of the coalition are also said to have arrived in recent days. Military officials quoted by the Associated Press news agency said the foreign troops are helping the pro-government forces operate sophisticated weapons, including tanks. And it's a wrap on CoreTV News at this hour. Thank you so very much for watching. I remain Omotayo.